Good night to all our viewers here on Caribbean American News Network. Greetings, my friends. Let's hoping that you are doing well. I'm a little distracted at the moment. Please bear with me. I am not hearing myself in the headpiece, so that's normally a little funny for me. Just let me see here. Okay, good. All right, so greetings to all. Welcome to Caribbean American News Network. Yes, we're here tonight. We're here together again. And you know, if it is Monday or Tuesday, it's Caribbean American News Network. And so we just want to greet everybody and wish you well. Tonight we're going to do something different. I am not too excited tonight. I'm not sure why. My spirit is just a little calm. So I just want to greet all. Let's see whose company I'm in tonight. Let's see if we can greet our brethren tonight. Let's greet everybody tonight. All right, so we have Vin. Good night, Vin. VJ. You look like a new viewer. My first time seeing you. If you are new, let us know so that we can give you the royal welcome. But greetings, my friend. And hi, Seth. A good night to you. My mother, Joycelyn Fletcher. Dr. Fletcher is here. Early, locked in. Normally she comes in a little late, so we're not going to put her in the rubber room tonight, okay? My sister Laurencia Pierre, my friend, a long-time friend, great woman indeed. Love her very much, great woman. Josie, how are you, my friend? Blessings to you. Sarah, good evening. Maggie, good evening to you, all the way from Connecticut. Maggie, let me know if you are the person, you know what I'm talking about, that we need to do the stuff with. For let me know. I'm losing track with a lot of stuff. All right, so let me know, Maggie. Greetings all the way in Connecticut. Philippa, yes. Marius. Arnold, Connor, how are you, sir? From St. Croix. St. Croix always in the house. I am actually watching the numbers, my behind the scenes figures, and we have some major cities that we are making headway in. And by the way, I want to announce to you that we have impacted 500,000 persons. Well, 500,000 persons around the world, and we're happy that we are making, yes. Thank you, my mother. Yes, we're hoping that we can reach the 1 million mark. And that is my aim, to impact 1 million persons on this platform. And I know we will talk about our visit to St. Lucia shortly. We are going to get into convention mood. There's some truths that I want to speak. And then we will take it from there. But I just want you to feel comfortable here. Be welcome to the platform. Good to have all of you. Yes, and Harrow, how are you? Mary, good to see you. Ron, how are you, Ron? Good to have you. And Benot, how are you? Philip, Morris, we did do that. Marius. And my friend, ring the bell. How are you, sir? Bernard, Merlin, Gill. Yes, Chris. I'm seeing a lot of names that I'm familiar with, the names, but the faces, I might not be able to put a face to the name. And that's where my trouble, that's where I'm going to get into some problems. So please bear with me, folks. We have Eva. Eva is a new name. Hi, Eva. New name. We have a lot of new persons coming onto the platform, and I'm recognizing it. I can see it. Okay, Maggie, called me after the show. Yes, thank you so much. And Martina, yes, good to you. Good to have you. And let's go over to our YouTube channel. We got to get ourselves built up. We got to get ourselves excited. I know there's enough going on around us to have us, to feel a certain way. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let's go over to our YouTube channel. Donovan, my favorite, and Norville, Lucy Queen, all my favorites are over there. Greetings, my friends. Greetings. Thank you for being there with us. Please share the live. And Hippolyte, how are you? Okay, Eva said she's not new. Okay, she's not new. All right, so Alice Gibson, welcome all the way from Grenada. Grenada is in the house. To all of intentions in the house. Grenadian, Guyanese, Dominican, those folks from Martinique. We are going into some areas there. One of these days, I will pull up that document and share it with you. We are touching some areas of the world, and I wonder why. I wonder why. All right. Okay, so let me just turn up the set. Yes. Okay, now I can hear myself. Now I can hear myself very well. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. All right, folks. So I just want to give a shout out. Oh, Martinique. Eva is Martinique in the house. Good to have you, Eva. Welcome to the platform. This is the people's platform, so feel comfortable. And by the way, don't be afraid to share your thoughts on the platform. We respect everybody's view. As a matter of fact, we need more diversity here because in order for us to effect change, I believe that we must not only talk to our base, but we got to talk to persons who are not part of the base. That's how you win. That's how you effect change in your society. We cannot talk to ourselves. We cannot isolate persons. We got to get all involved in the discourse to change in the country. And I will say to you folks, if we are selfish enough, we will think that it's best we talk to ourselves. But if we really, really want to bring change to our communities, to the country, I believe we need to start speaking to those who are opposed to us, those who have other thoughts, those who are not really settled in our vision. And that's how you win people. That's how you do discipleship. That's how you share your faith. That's how you share any information, rather, with the intention of changing minds. That's how you do evangelism. And so I will encourage you again, don't just lock yourself into speaking to the United Workers' Party based in Lucia. It is much bigger than the United Workers' Party. And so therefore, if you're selling a vision and the vision is good, then people will buy into it. All right. There's some people, it will take time to get them on the train, but by the grace of God, we can continue speaking. Let's continue having the conversation that are needed in our community. All right. And we have Francilla from West Hartford, Connecticut in the house, my friend. Welcome, Sakafet. welcome. You're not late, you're on time, all right? Okay, so we're going to have a very quiet discussion tonight. We're going to look at, remember, we're looking at in the news, what is happening in the news. There is good and bad in the news, and we must highlight it. First of all, I want to wish a special lady happy birthday. I recognize the face from younger while I was in St. Lucia, and I want to wish her, I'm going to put her on the screen. I want to wish her a happy birthday. Her name is Melinda Shalry. Melinda Shalry, special happy birthday to you. It is your 67th birthday. You're 67 years old, and you're better known as Fimba. Fimba there in the Denver Basin. We want to wish you, my friend, a happy birthday. May God continue to bless you with health, with strength, and by the grace of God, we're hoping that we can give you a little treat when we get into the country. All right, so anyone who is related to Melinda Shalry, please reach out to us at Caribbean American News Network before we get there on the ground. And she's affectionately known as Fimba. All right, Fimba. So anyone knows her family, please reach out to me so that I can get some information, but we want to wish her a special, special happy birthday. Blessings. All right. Okay. So that was our shout out. Molly Mall, happy birthday to you. Belated birthday to you. I saw you celebrating without us, your fans. And so we're going to put you in the rubber room. We will put you in the rubber room very shortly, just like my mom, Dr. Fletcher. I'm not in a nice mood tonight, so a lot of people will get placed in the rubber room. All right, but you have your up days and your down days. Ain't nothing going on really. It's just you get to reflect on life. You get to reflect on a lot of things that is happening around you. Sometimes you sit back and you try to make an assessment to see whether you're making the impact that is necessary to assist in the changes in your society. At the same time, you are surrounded basically with persons with different agenda. And that in itself, that's why individuals need to understand what you're in and stay focused. Keep your eyes on the prize. And don't be distracted, but there is enough in our society. There's enough in our party. There's enough on the other side. There's enough in the church. There's enough everywhere to distract us, to distract you, the citizens of the country. So I say to you, remain focused, steadfast, and, you will reap your reward, but you got to stick to it. But there's one or two things I want to discourage tonight openly. And then we will move on with the show tonight. To my Vincentian people, greetings to you. Ralph Gonsalves had a big dance up last weekend with 20-something years in leadership, and he's celebrating, he's winding down, and he's going down while the teachers and civil servants are going through hell there in St. Vincent. Spend thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands to have massive party, but cannot find monies to pay civil servants what is duly theirs. So we got to pay attention to what is happening. We see in St. Lucia every second there are politicians flying, going nowhere. That's what I say, flying, going nowhere. Yes, you see it, and we got to be real. And the challenge is the hypocrisy where persons, when one party is in office, the other one complain that this one always on a jet, this one always flying. When they're in power, they fly more than the jet itself. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they fly like that. These people fly. And they say to you, well, the country have no money. The prime minister didn't leave any money. But they fly. The only set of people I know that fly is imagine qui ka volé à la broom. But I don't know what to say about it. But it's always flying. And what are you getting from the fly? What do you see? What results? What report do you get about these flyings? You don't get much. And is it necessary in this age where you can just get on Zoom, you can have these cyber meetings? Are some of these flights really necessary? Are they necessary? Think about it, folks. Let's think about it for a while. If we are serious about nation building, and if we're saying that our country is broke and we have no money to do this, no money to do that, while persons who travel these pothole infested roads every day, they're being challenged with buying parts for their vehicle. Tires are busted up, rims are broken, shocks and rubbers are damaged. And it is so political that you can't even speak up about some of the issues. You're muted, you're quiet. Because your government in power, and that's not the society that you really want, my friend. All right? So, okay, good. Every time is a flight. Every time you look, they're gone. But let's touch based on something that I might be a little all over the place, but let's get back to focus. There is a picture, there is a tape, voice note that was being circulated on social media and being circulated on WhatsApp. And I find, and that's what have me in this mood right now. I must confess to you, the listeners, this had me concerned that how did we get where we are today? And that's a question that I really got to ask. A man curses out another man's dead mother and he's celebrated. The tape goes viral. You talk about Jesus and it goes nowhere. You talk about having changes in your society and making a difference, it goes nowhere. You talk about helping the poor and the needy, it goes nowhere. But a man cursing from the beginning to the end, cursing the dead mother of an individual, and it's being celebrated, it's being pushed all over social media by persons who should know better. How do you circulate those things in good faith? Yes, you want to get at Mr. Richard Frederick. Yes, you want to get even with him. Yes, you want to expose his hypocrisy. Yes, you want to do this and you want to do that. But in the midst of that, you are defiling the air of thousands of people with this vulgar type, obscene, I'm not even sure how to put it. You know, the nastiness, and many of us should know better. That's the truth. Many of us should know better. It is not a tape that should be shared anywhere. A man, whether the man's mother is alive or dead, that type of language and communication have no place in our society. It has absolutely nowhere. We should never allow it to take root. We are the ones who are pushing this thing around. And it brings me to the point of trying to figure out what is this all about? Are we really in for change? Are we really in to set our country on the right track? Are we really genuine about building a better generation, setting a nice foundation for the generation to come? Are we true to the idea that we want to build a better St. Lucia? And we got to speak the truth on whatever side it is. And I make no excuse for this rant. It got me sick. It got me concerned. And it was Saturday night, I was getting home, and I say, I saw a whole set of voice notes, and I say, that must be an emergency. Let me go through them. And I could not believe what I was hearing about a guy murdered this and murdered that, and the people you see sharing it brought me it brought me to a place where I had to pause. And I am not, listen to me. One, I do not know Mr. Richard Frederick. One, I do not know him personally. I know him as a politician. I know him as a politician. I hear a lot of things. But you can hear a lot of things about everybody. But I'm not here to justify Mr. Frederick or to clean up anything for him or make him look good. No, that's not what I'm here to do. I am here to speak about the hypocrisy that I see in our society, in our generation, in our politics, that is very concerning. There's enough things out there that we can use, enough truths out there on policies that can be used against Mr. Frederick. But to sell a tape because a man is cursing off his mother? Have we gone so low in our society that we don't draw lines and we say we beat them with we're beating them at the game, we're not resting this time, we're beating them, and we're comfortable with that, and we call ourselves a Christian nation? Now permit me to rant. Please give me the space. And if I cannot get the space to rant, then something is wrong with our society. So I'm calling for civility. I'm calling us to step back. I am calling us to step back. And let us reflect on where we want to go, where we are and where we want to go. And we must have genuine outrage and not manufactured outrage because we want to get into power. So to get into power, we go as nasty as we can get. We go after people's children, we go after their mother, we go after their father, we go after their church. Is there no line that we can draw? And some persons side with iniquity and unrighteousness. I think all of us should have a reflecting point, just like me. I sat there for the past few days and in deep reflection and concern. And honestly, what really shocked me is persons who are sharing and celebrating this type of behavior. Brethren, I ask us to pause. Really pause. And let's reflect. Let's reflect. If you want to get at Mr. Frederick, get at him. His mother is dead. Draw the line. Draw the line. I don't know how many of you could have listened to it, by the way. I don't know how you were comfortable in sitting there listening to something like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I would say it's time for reflection. Yeah. I believe it's time for us to reflect. Yeah, time to reflect. Nothing will change. I see Mr. Frederick in the house. I see him every opportunity. He's just getting at Mr. Shaston. It's like there is this bitterness that is there. But sharing that thing, nah. And that's my rant on that, and I finish with it. All right? That's my point. That's my position. I am not going to apologize for it. That's it. Period. We got to do better. Huh? We got to do better, folks. On the other hand, let's be truthful. Let's be real tonight. Let's be real. No, I don't need to change the subject. All of us should be able to speak our truth. And everybody's entitled to speak their truth. Share how they feel, their position. And we still get along. We're good. But what will not foster that change that we're looking for and ease on the temperature in the country is what we're seeing there. All right? Okay, good. So let's move on to another subject. And that is the hypocrisy that you see out there with your politicians, your local politicians. In opposition, they say and do a lot of stuff. And I can remember the racism and the bitterness that was handed to Mr. Shastney, not really the United Workers' Party. Really, let's look at it carefully. The racist attack that was leveled at Mr. Shastney. And now what we have? Everybody now, saints and, oh yes, what you guys are doing, we don't do those things. What you all, the type of pictures and stuff that you're putting out there on social media, we don't do that. Oh, you gotta condemn it. We gotta condemn. We got to do this and we got to do that. But let's be real again. In opposition, what we saw for the past few years, it was disrespectful. It was nasty. And all of a sudden, things have changed. I saw a picture of Mr. Shastney and some young boys with chain on their necks, black boys with chain, and these guys made it look like Mr. Shastney was a racist white man who just wanted to enslave black people. And the same people who celebrated it, the same persons who shared it and laughed with their bottles in their hands, are now so outraged. They are so outraged. They are so angry. They mocked Mr. Shastney every word. There was a young lady called Trisha Lionel or whatever it was, and many others, even Mr. Frederick, mocked and ridiculed him. Went to the point of saying that he did not even go to school. And they wanted to, even Mr. Shelton, Daniel was asking on Mr. Richard Frederick's show, is there not a way we can get to the school to get his school papers? That's how far they went. But all of a sudden, they are so outraged. They are so holy and sanctimonious now that everything is a problem. Every counterattack is a problem. These guys were on the attack every second of the day. Every other word was an attack. The man went into the school to do a presentation with the children. It was an attack. He cannot write. He cannot read. He's stupid. He's dumb. He's the most idiotic man in the world. The worst white man in the world. And all of a sudden, there is so much outrage. I'm not saying that any monkey picture was right, whatever it is. I'm not saying that. But I am trying to show you folks what is happening in our society. The level of self-righteousness and hypocrisy that settles in our country. And that's why we are busy going nowhere fast. Yes, we're heading to nowhere fast. And the history is there, written down in social media and through cyberspace. The insults, the humiliation. And one man said in my presence right here at a town hall meeting in New York, one SLP supporter who is a Christian from my denomination, and he says to the Prime Minister, when are you going to implement a law in St. Lucia basically to stop Mr. Shastney from becoming Prime Minister again? Now, I didn't make that up. I did not make up those stories, folks. I was on the scene even before I was on the scene. I used to pay attention to every discussion, every online programs, from Norbert to Trisha to all of them to the other one, Hunt. I listened in outrage. I sat there silently as a Christian, and I said to myself, I cannot get involved because they would say that I'm not a Christian. I cannot get involved. I'll come under fire from church people. And I sat there, not one church person stood up and said, stop it. I sat there night after night during the leadership of the United Workers' Party. It was dirty, it was nasty, it was disgusting. The statements that were being made. One guy even went after Dr. Fletcher, went after that woman. A woman who is soft-spoken, a woman who don't bother anybody, don't get in anybody's path. Went after her, got so nasty. Mr. Guy Joseph was accused of being a thief and a bad, worthless guy, a worthless Indian that should be deported to another Indian country. And we are forgetting? Are we forgetting right there at Constitutional Park that there was a Black Life movement all because of one white man who was there? One black man, one white man, all of a sudden a black movement came into being right there in St. Lucia. In a country that's 97% or 98% black, there is a Black Life movement. You have not one white police officer. There is absolutely no white discrimination in St. Lucia. There is no white man having anyone on any farm with chain on their necks. But there we had a Black Lives Matter movement. Was that necessary in small black St. Lucia? All because of one, and we got to speak the truth. If they were not Mr. Shastney in the house, there would be no Black Lives Matters movement. It was a shame, a copycat shame. And they are forgetting. They want us to forget. And again, I'm not saying go nasty. No, I would not. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to push anyone to do that. I discourage it. But I got to remind us, lest we forget the injustice, the nasty divisiveness that we had for politics in the nation. And you wonder where all this bitterness and nastiness in our society is coming from. We planted that seed. And my question would be, where is the white man? Who is the white man? And what was the purpose of Black Lives Matters? Which white cop was killing black men in St. Lucia? And what government in St. Lucia was taking away people's right from them? All of a sudden, all our legal experts are silent on the new laws. Yes, you want to get at crime. I'm not saying much about that. But everybody said, just shut up. There's nothing to see how we can change our constitution. No referendum. We can change our constitution to get a new deputy speaker from anywhere else except the House. Change our constitution again. But don't say nothing. Don't talk. When we change our constitution, once we are in power, don't talk. But when you change it, when you are in power, we will talk. We will protest. We will have Black Lives Matters in St. Lucia. We will have marches all through the streets dressed in red. Because only we can do it, not you guys. And so, lest we forget what took place, and we must always remember that. And remember that all that glitters is not gold. And now the tables have turned. Do you see a Black Lives Matters movement anywhere? Have you heard of it? Miss Allison Jha, have you heard of any Black Lives Matters movement lately? With all our young men who are being killed in the streets, did you see any march or protest against violence in your society? Have you seen the outrage by those people lately? No. Ain't no outrage. Let's talk if we really want to talk. If you want to talk about hypocrisy, let's talk about hypocrisy. Every weekend we're burying our young boys. And let me add our black young boys. And you know, I heard the Lisa lady talking about civility in the society and this is racist and should be condemned and blah, 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 black sheep. With no wool or wolf, wool, whatever it is. Nothing at all. Where were you? You were part of that same gang. That mob gang. Who spewed racism in our society. Yes. You thought you are the ones who trained whoever did that clip with baboon and all kind of nonsense. Whoever did that, you trained them to do it. Should not have been introduced in the society. No, it should not have been. Should not have been introduced. And now you come in like you're Queen Elizabeth. With your nice speech because you see the camera, but behind the camera you're laughing, gig, 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 gig. We get them, we get them, we get them. Fake. Fake outrage. They're playing games with our minds. Well, not with mine. I got the numbers locked down. And encourages the entire nation to be outraged about it, and that should not be in our society, and we will not accept apology from Mr. Chasney. Well, at least he apologized on behalf of whoever put it out, but you guys have never apologized for anything that you have done, in the past or in present. No, I've never heard you guys apologize to Mr. Chasney for wanting to take away his constitutional rights from him as a citizen. Given some of you the opportunity, you would have gone in the house to try to deport him. Yes. If you can find a way to deport him to a white country, you would have done it. So don't come like you're some nice Catholic all of a sudden with your rosary and everything else. Don't try that here, not in this space. This space cannot encourage it. This space will not support it. This space will expose it because it is the truth. And it will set us free. So you're saying you're not going to accept his apologies, but you're not apologizing, ain't it? We don't want a white man here. We is black. Did you come out and rebuke that statement? It was at your activity. It was at your program, your event. Did you issue a statement? No, you chatted on. You think the rest of St. Lucia there is dumb, blind, and stupid. It's a shame. It's a shame. And there's an old saying, what you sow is what you reap. How are you going to fix it now? Continue with your hypocrisy? And I'm ranting tonight because I told you I'm not in the mood. So it's rant night. You can join me in ranting. You can call me rant too. Join the rant crew. Let's talk. Seriously. Let's talk. How is St. Jude going? I heard the fence is almost finished. Nurses and workers there at St. Jude walk off the job. They're fed up. There was an increase, was it civil servants' salaries? The increase that was owed to them. You have no choice. It was owed to them. The Alan Shasta administration negotiated it, had a successful negotiation, and the workers were on path to receive their money. But what you did in the presentation, sir, is that you came and you tried to polish it like it's not us, sir. In other words, it is something bad. You don't realize what you were doing, and a lot of people didn't catch on to it. You tried to blame the government for you having to pay out the millions that were owed to the people of St. Lucia. So what you did, you threw it on Mr. Chastney because you thought it was something bad. And then, here how you confuse it more, you put out a nice bulletin of celebration that the servants, the people, the workers receive an increase. But that is after you try to tie it around Mr. Chastney's neck as a bad thing. I say to you that the gods are turning you guys mad because you are reaping what you sow. And like I say, you will not be able to lead in peace or time of peace because you were not faithful in opposition. No, you were not faithful. Nothing in the country was going right. Nothing in the country was going right. You all remember that? You all remember? Police state was at the worst. The hospitals was at the worst. The schools was at the worst. The corona, dealing with the corona was the worst. Everything in the country was at a worst. Investment, a worse cabot, and this one worse. And all of a sudden, when the United Workers' Party said to you that what you did there is bad, you're mad. So you're getting a taste of your own medicine and you can't even drink it. Then what make it worse is that you're putting St. Lucia in Europe. And guess what you say to the St. Lucians? Why are you guys so serious? I told you all to eat more green figs and I was right. But you guys don't listen to the Prime Minister. The man tell you all eat more green figs because he know that no more bananas going to England. He knew that way in advance. So he tell you all start eating your own green figs. Hey, I'll cheer my spirit up tonight. My spirit is coming back. Oh my God. So it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. It is what it is. Eat more green figs. Because the man knew in advance that, look, you all in the European nation, Europe will buy you all bananas, but you all got to eat most of it too. Listen to me. It is true. What goes around comes around. You hear me? What goes around comes around. Now, Mexico, 6 years ago, Mexico had promised St. Jude's Hospital some supplies, I believe, lighting and other things when the hospital is completed, and we're hoping that Mexico will stick to the promise and deliver, because I believe Mr. Philip Chipper said that St. Jude Hospital will be finished before his term is up. So your term can be up anytime, so try to speak to the Mexicans so that at least they can get the ball rolling in getting the stuff that they promised to the hospital there at St. Jude. The other thing is, and it's a question. It's a question, folks. Joachim Henry. I want to ask the government a question. Will there be a special election for Mr. Joachim's district? Now, don't ask me why I'm asking that question. There's an old saying that spiritual things are spiritually discerned. So I am asking a question again. Will there be a special election for the Honorable Joachim Henry's seat? Just a question. All right? Just a question. And if you ask me why I asked the question, I will tell you I don't know. Why is me? Huh? Why is me? Yes. So let me show you folks what I was speaking about. It was a broadcast by NBC that is 6 years ago concerning Mexico and the St. Jude Hospital. All right? Just bear with me, folks. We're all over the place tonight.
Delivered 2 of their 3 promised projects undertaken at the St. Jude's Hospital in response to calls for support by the government of St. Lucia to reconstruct the St. Jude's Hospital following the fire which devastated sections of the hospital in September 2009. The government of Mexico, via the Infrastructure Fund Trust for Mesoamerican and Caribbean countries, offered to donate 3 hospital projects, namely the construction of a morgue building, construction of the security monitoring and ambulance building, and the supply and installation of the external area lighting of the hospital, all with associated renewable energy solutions. The external lighting, however, is scheduled to be delivered when the hospital is in its final stage of construction.
These components have been gladly supported by Mexico based on the firm conviction of the benefits they represent for the people of St. Lucia. We want to thank the government for all their efforts to give the people a stronger and more efficient healthcare system.
Now, folks, listen to me. This is 6 years ago. All right? And they promise that when they get closer to the finishing of this hospital, that the people of Mexico, government of Mexico, will supply the St. Jude's Hospital with needed support. I am not sure how close. Remember, the hospital was actually, I believe, 90-something% finished. That is about a number of years ago. And I do not know what percentage now it is at, because from 90, you'll need at least 10 more percent to get to 100. So we are not sure with the old hospital how long it's going to take. But let's go back to the clip.
St. Jude Hospital personnel as well as UNOPS for ensuring transparency during the process, both in terms of budget and time. And I think the quality of the project that I have had the opportunity to look around the more component and right here today speaks of the good job they have done.
Minister for Economic Development, Guy Joseph, stated that the projects were funded to the tune of US $2.7 million. He had high praises for the project implementation company, UNOPS, for their professional workmanship and efficient project management.
Today we are here to mark the handing over of the ambulance facility and the morgue. Now I know, even though we don't say it, but it goes through our mind, the morgue. But the reality is, this is the component of the hospital that was not funded at the time when they were engaged, and we are happy that they came on board, the government of Mexico through UNOPS, in implementing this phase of the project. They may have been the last set of persons to come on board, but they have been the first to deliver.
Prime Minister Alan Chasney thanked the government and people of Mexico for their generosity to St. Lucia, while providing the reassurance that the government is focused on delivering the St. Jude's Hospital to the people at the soonest possible time.
I stand here today to acknowledge the progress on the St. Jude Hospital reconstruction project. It is no secret that this project has tested the extreme patience of our nation. And while I must beg for more tolerance from the good people of this country, I also have good news. Thanks to the generosity of the people and the government of Mexico, thanks to them for taking on the construction of the ambulance and security building, the morgue building, and for facilitating the external area lighting. We understand and appreciate the importance of partners such as the people and the government of Mexico, who continue to support our efforts in guaranteeing our citizens and visitors top-class health care.
Governor General of St. Lucia, Dame Paulette Louisi, and Ambassador Socorro Flores Liera unveiled the plaques on the security monitoring and ambulance building and the morgue. They were accompanied by the Prime Minister, other government ministers, and specially invited guests. Jason Arios, NBC News.
All right, so that's it, my friends. The hospital was promised, and it's actually $2.7 million. So that's a very expensive hospital, I would say. And I heard that $4 million was spent on the fence, another $4 million to clean the hospital, to clean the inside, and I believe the outside, and another $4 million for something else. I was also told that the electricals and the plumbing, they would have to do some adjustments to those utilities. I do not know how you put electricity close to the water lines. I am not sure how you do that. But with some of these special engineers you have, it seems anything goes. For a government project we're talking about, a government project like this in Jude Hospital, you have electricals mix up with plumbing, the kind of work that you see over there for a government project. It is a shame. And we are hoping that the staff of the St. Jude Hospital, those who are in the stadium, we are hoping that very soon, and we are praying that the government can get them out of the stadium into a hospital building. Period. Because the stadium, it's dangerous, and anything can happen at any time. For me, I would prefer to see them out of the stadium into one of these buildings. I would prefer that than for us to hear that one of these steel bars fell, a piece of concrete got unstable, drop in, patients are dead, staff get injured, whatever it is. Folks, that's a disaster waiting to happen. All of us should be praying for the completion of this hospital. Every one of us. Because also, you got to understand, those of you who are in St. Lucia, that the possibility is there that you can end up in that broken hospital. And the scenario that I just placed before you could be you or your family. So it is in our interests, all of us, that the hospital is completed and we get this politics thing on the sideline when it comes to health in St. Lucia and that medical facility there in Vieux-Fort. I mean, what can I say? You know, so let's hope that the government, they're doing their follow-up with the people of Mexico so that they can also be a part of the finishing of the hospital. All right? Good. Now, the government will be doing their expenditure budgets, whatever it is, this week. And let us pay attention. A lot of people don't pay attention to what is being said, especially with the millions of dollars that you would hear. Some of you don't understand it, and therefore you don't pay any attention. But these have real consequence, real effect in our society, in our communities, in our homes. How we eat, how we drink, how we drive on the roads, how we pay our taxes. And by the way, there is absolutely no excuse for us to be paying high gas prices in St. Lucia at this time. Absolutely none. Absolutely no reason. Cannot be justified. This is something that cannot be justified by any government. To me, I thought there was a system where, based on the world market, the price of gas would be going up and down. You'll be paying more, you'll be paying less, based on international markets. But in St. Lucia, it seems like you guys just pay whatever the government says that you pay. It seems so to me. Why are you paying $17 a gallon for gas? And let's say that there's road tax. You have road taxes on the gas. My question would be, why are we not getting the roads prepared properly? Let's go into the supermarket or the supermarkets. Have you gone to the supermarkets lately? I have been seeing pictures, persons sending pictures with me with the prices of food items in those supermarkets. How do you survive? And do we not have a government with a heart? Should we not have been debating ways that we can reduce the prices in the markets, in the supermarkets, on the shelves? Should we not be having a debate on food prices? Huh? Why are we having debates on Mr. Chasney? Nobody can eat Mr. Chasney. Poor people are not eating Mr. Chasney. They can't feed their children with Mr. Chasney. Why do we have those type of discussions and arguments in our house when we should spend our time speaking about easing the prices, the food prices for our poor families who are, by the way, undernourished? Now, this is a question that we must ask governments, we must ask those who represent us. Why are we getting Roro every time you go to the house? Why is Mr. Chasney the main target of a debate in the House? And less is being said by Miss Emma Hippolyte about the rising food prices in the country. Now, I'm just asking questions. And don't say there's nothing you can do. You blame the war in Ukraine. You blame the coronavirus. All right. You blame supplies, the supply chain interruption. Is there still a supply chain interruption? Question. Is there still? And if there was a supply chain problem in St. Lucia, how did Mr. What's his name? Stephenson King get all his blue t-shirts while he was in government, the Alan Chasney government? He was able to get all his t-shirts and caps and umbrellas shipped to St. Lucia overnight for his campaign. Well, I'm just asking questions. Supply chain interruption, but they're able to get their carnival costumes into St. Lucia. No delays. They're able to get their BMWs and all their fancy cars into St. Lucia. No problem. No supply interruptions. They're able to get all their clearance. Whether it's legal or not legal, they're able to get all that they need through. But when it comes to food prices and food itself, you blame it on the supply chains. That's why I said to you, my people, you got to reason. You got to think. You got to see what is being done to you as a people. Thank you, Marius. Just like they blame the potholes, they put the potholes on the rain. One, the potholes, the rain, the potholes, we got an excuse, it was the rain. Then the poor rain, it's an excuse not to fix the potholes. And you're confused about the excuses. But I believe that much can be done when it comes to food prices in the Caribbean. A lot more can be done. And now we're hearing that there's an interruption with sugar and rice. We now have an issue where I was reading today that some people are complaining about the quality of rice and the quality of sugar food supplies that are in the country, the quality of food that are coming in now. So therefore, we need to ask the question whether there is due diligence that are being done with the type of food that are coming into the country. And the other question would be, and maybe the possibility might be there for governments to say, well, we want cheaper food, so we will take cheaper food anywhere we can get it from. Countries with no hygienical background, countries that, you would not order food supplies from them in times of peace. So who will protect the people of St. Lucia? Who would ask the pertinent questions on behalf of the consumers in the country? Where are you guys getting your food items from? Have the quality changed because you are trying to get cheaper food prices? And I'll tell you something about cheap. Cheap is not always good. Cheap is not always good, because if you want good stuff, you don't go to Dollar Tree or the 99-cent store. Or you don't go behind the supermarket and buy or pick out food from the container to give to anybody. So the question is, Who do you have that are monitoring the quality of food that you're bringing into the country? And are you bringing in the cheapest because you want to save money? Not that you want to pass on that savings to the consumer, but because you want to pass on the savings to the government. And we can see it in gas. You are keeping your foot on the people's neck when it comes to the gas prices. And that is not good. And you are keeping your foot on the necks of the people, the black people according to you, with the food items, substandard, lacking quality. Where is the food safety net? Where are the systems that are in place to ensure that St. Lucians are getting properly good quality food? And you are not just scrapping up food from any market that you get without verification of the sources. Do you do review on the factories and the suppliers? All these flights that your politicians are going out on, are they going to the supermarket chains and the food supply chains to see how their foods are being produced or manufactured? All them flights you see going out of St. Lucia with all those politicians, every week, 10 of them going. Their cousin, their dog, their cat. Everybody goes on a flight. Is it in the interest of the people of St. Lucia? Are you visiting the farms? And then in the next 5 years, we have a major health problem in the country. You have cancers that you have never seen before. You have high blood pressure, diabetes, and you're wondering, how are we getting those things? We are in the tropics, we have the sea breeze, we have the alkaline, we have fresh water. How are we getting all these type of cancers? Look at the amount of women that we have lost in Dennery alone from cancer. And it is a concern that I've always had about those women who are dying from certain cancers right there in Dennery. And our men who are dying from prostate cancers and all sorts of cancers that we have never seen in the country before. And I spoke about Gramoxone and Touchdown, and none of you government people are taking me on it. There is a massive lawsuit here in the United States against the Roundup company, the Gramoxone company, because many persons, farmers who have used those products have lost their lives. Some of them have developed cancers in their bodies and are being sued. There's a class action lawsuit right now against some of these businesses, manufacturers, whatever you call them. But which government minister is standing up for the people to say that we are going to investigate, we are going to get the names of all of the farmers who have died, we are going to get their medical report, and we are going to petition all them lawyer fees you're paying for the speaker and you're paying for this one to take Mr. Shasta to court and to do this and to do that. Why can't you take that money and get lawyers to get to the Gramoxone company and Touchdown company and take them to court too, so that our families in St. Lucia can benefit? Why can't a surviving spouse get money for her dead husband because he was spraying Gramoxone and he was using it all over his farm and then it kills him? But there are millions of farmers here in the United States that are benefiting from those lawsuits. But do we have a government that is concerned and really concerned about the citizens of the country? I have not heard the health ministry. I have not heard Mr. Prosper, who is the agriculture Minister, I have not heard any one of them speak on those matters. And I have been bringing it up over and over, and I will continue to highlight it. And I will get one of those lawyers to come on my program from this Roundup lawsuit. This class action lawsuit against them. I'll get information and put it out. Because if the government comes together and they say, look, we have lost a lot of our farmers, our women who have been washing bananas for these banana company. And by the way, these banana company, brethren, it's a shame, you know. These big companies, while we are free and there is no chain around our necks, but they are putting invisible chains around the people of St. Lucia. When this is to you, for us to buy your bananas, you have to use all these chemicals. And they know that those chemicals are going to kill our people. They say to you, you must use them for us to buy your bananas. What are the protection that are put in place for our workers, the women who are washing bananas in chemical? And that water is draining down their hands and draining down their dresses into their feet and their paws. Then they have cancer. Who is looking out for them? But all you, and some of you farmers are ridiculous. The only thing you see is money. None of you talking about your health. A lot of farmers that should be alive, they're in their grave today. All because you just want the money. You want money now. You want to buy a new van. You want a car. You want to have what your neighbor have. It's all about the money now. Some of you don't even pay NIS. So you will work all your lives, get cancer, and have to do barbecues for you to get health care because you make no preparation at all as a farmer. And then you say, well, the farmers are the future of St. Lucia. Food. How are you the future when you're dying? How are you the future when you're dying from greed? How are you the future when you're not thinking, you're not using your brain? Some of you are not even using protective gowns. When you are using Gramazone, Touchdown, and some of these chemicals, you're supposed to have what is called hazmat suits. Suits from your head, whole body suits from your head to your foot. Those chemicals that you're using, ladies, you're not supposed to be washing bananas without your mask. And you're supposed to be like hazmat. Whole body suit. And now they say, oh, we don't know how we have all these cancer, kidney problems. St. Lucia have so much, we can't deal. It's too expensive to deal with them. But farmers are the future. Folks, we got to get our priorities straight. And I'm saying that when you are selecting politicians, these are the questions that you need your politicians to answer. These are the commitments that you need from your politician. Ask your politicians the questions that need to be asked. The questions that you're asking, it makes no sense sometimes. Absolutely no sense. So for me, I say to you, ask them those questions concerning your health. Ask them the questions concerning the future of your children. Ask them the pertinent questions. Unless you stop with your little gutter talk, garbage talk, you will get garbage leadership. You got to lift the standard. You, the people. Don't expect politicians to lift it for you. You got to lift the standard up. You got to ask the right questions. You got to show concerns. So again, I ask, who are the watchdogs and the guardian of our farmers? Who? You see what these guys are doing. It is all about getting a position for their friends and their best friends who help in the campaign. It's not about you, really. Some of you will continue to catch your tail because it's not about you. It's never about you. It's never about you because you don't make it about you. You know what they say to you? Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Yes, you have done for your country. You have elected politicians. You have gone to the thing and voted for them. And some of you repeating that same story. That's what America not done there. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Have you not given blood for your country? Have you not taken enough crap in your country? Have you not lost your own relatives in your country because of bad healthcare system? What else can you do for your country? And everything the guys here in the United States say, you say too. And I hear your politicians, they're repeating the same thing to you in order to tell you, shut your mouth and pay more taxes. Shut your mouth and eat foolish foods that we just pick up on some market, global market. Shut your mouth and vote for us so that we can get on our planes and go where we want, when we want, with our friends, girlfriends, families, wife, jabal, everybody. Shut up and enjoy your stupid healthcare system while we jump on a plane and go to a foreign country for medical treatment. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Have you not done enough for your country? Have you not suffered enough under bad leadership? Have you not suffered enough burying your own children while the police force is being used as a political punching bag by political systems? Every time they come, they move a commissioner because that commissioner, they believe that commissioner is UWP, that commissioner is SLP, and they have the police force like a political football. How can you have stability in the police force? How? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. People, you're living in a small developing state. Right now, it stopped developing. It's stunted. I don't know if you ever see a plum or mango in the tree. It's fluxy. It look ripe, but they ain't going nowhere. You might as well take it down and throw it on the ground. You can't eat it. You can't make juice with it. You can't do nothing with it. Not even the birds want it. So ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. What else can you do for your country, friends? That's my question tonight. 5 more minutes and I close. What else can you do for your country? You have voted all these politicians in and nothing. Voted all these politicians in. Your airport is still crap. Garbage. Voted them in. Your hospitals are the worst. Couldn't even open the OKU hospital. They couldn't even open it. Building is finished. Couldn't open it. Victoria Hospital falling apart at the seams. Water pouring left, right, and center. You can have it operational now. Look at Tobiadi down. But ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. What else can you do for your country? What else? What else? My favorite caller, you're on the air. I'm not in a good mood.
Good evening, and I like that. I didn't want to disturb you. I wanted you to carry on. Because you're making some really, really, really great points. Mm-hmm. So, good night to all in the forum and good night, Brother Garfield. I want you to carry on. You said in 5 more minutes and you closed. And I'm like, you ain't going nowhere. Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, good.
I can, yes.
Good. Go ahead, caller. Thank you for calling, though. And I pray for you, and you know what I'm talking about, okay? And Mom.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Needed. Where do I start?
It's a
And
lot.
where do we end?
It's a lot.
You know,
Honestly.
I heard a song earlier today, and that song ended with Bo. So it says something something Bo, and then we're putting out SLP, and we're putting in Fla Bo.
Oh, that's a new song?
I love the song. I don't know if it's a new song, but let me tell you something. I really love the song. It is about time we put out SLP. There's as usual so much going on in St. Lucia, but my question to the government, the present government of St. Lucia, or what we call a government in St. Lucia is, why are you borrowing monies, so much money, to put into projects that monies was already borrowed for, and the projects have started, and the loans are there, and the funds are there. You just need to access it and complete those projects. And then you want to blame the past administration for borrowing monies to do these same projects. I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't understand because are we doing double whammy of borrowing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Why can't the airports continue where the last administration left off under the same conditions and loan conditions, etc.? Why can't the roadworks continue under the same and solutions? I hope you understanding what I'm saying, because it seems to me, that we're borrowing two sets of monies to do the same work. And is that necessary? And if our prime minister, I need to be respectful, the honorable, I don't know if he's honorable, but Philip J. Pierre.
If they use that same term in Europe, then you can use it, honorable.
Yeah, because we're in Europe. Anyway, why is this man calling himself an accountant or an economist if he will borrow another set of money to finish the same work that was started, that monies was already borrowed for to do? I hope I'm making sense. So we have an airport. Monies have been put in place for this airport. The HIA project to be completed, whatever it started, let's finish the work. He's going to stop that project. He still has to pay whatever back to the Taiwanese, to the Exim Bank. But he's going to go and borrow other monies and start a project again and make our airport smaller. Does that make financial sense for an accountant or even he call himself an economist? That doesn't make financial sense. So my question is, St. Lucians, why aren't we opening our eyes? Why are, like Brother Garfield was saying, why are we still sitting there and letting a government tax us to death? And I mean to death, because oil on the world market is $70, $69, $69, $70, $65, $67 per barrel.
Yep, that's low.
Right? Why are we still paying $17 per gallon of fuel? Why are we paying $45 for a 20-pound cylinder of of cooking gas. Why are we
But
paying 50, 40?
When last have they reduced on that
Sorry?
20? When last have they reduced on the 20 cylinder?
Never.
Are you serious?
They brought it up and they've never reduced anything on the 20 or the 22-pound cylinders.
My God.
They have been toying around with the 100-pound cylinders, which not many solutions own.
Right.
They're toying around with it, bringing it down, and the last time he brought it up by almost $100 and then said that he was bringing it down again. I don't know by how much, because I'm so fed up now. I think that we're sleeping on us, and we need to take to the street. We need to go and we need to march. We need to march. We cannot sit there and do nothing about a government that is taking advantage of us like this. There's no sense to it. St. Jude's, look at St. Jude's, guys. You're taking $10 million or how many $1 million and putting it into a fence. You fencing up old buildings that are falling apart, that are infested, that has mold, that the roofs are not good anymore, that it's too low. The ceilings are too low to meet hospital standards. You're taking monies and you're paying for fencing for this and to wash down these buildings when you have 2 new buildings or a brand new building sitting there that you can just complete a portion of it or one of them and house St. Jude's in that new building? Why are we going back to front in solutions? Solutions, we need to stand up. We need to get up. We need to speak out. We need to get together and stand outside of Parliament and demand what we need. Because we are going to end up beneath the ocean. They have drowned us. It is wrong. And for me to hear, and I'm not afraid of mentioning Richard Frederick's name, for me to hear Richard Frederick say, oh, ask Alan to explain this and Cabot and whatever. The man who benefited from Cabot. You still coming on your show last week Thursday and asked Alan to explain all the projects and stuff that he was working on. Why don't you ask him to complete those projects?
But hold that point. They call it something I want to as you mentioned Richard Frederick's name. Richard Frederick said that, and his government said Alan Chasney borrowed millions of dollars and they see nothing. They don't see nothing he did with the money, and they don't see any money in the government from the loans, right? Listen what Richard Frederick said last week. He said that when he got into government, his government found millions of dollars sitting there. Millions of dollars sitting there. He said it with his own mouth last week, and they took the monies to repair homes.
When they came in, they said, do you remember when they came, they said the logbox, they could not find the logbox, there was no money.
Richard said millions.
Now they found millions. Now, let me tell you, everything they lied about, the truth is going to come out, and I hope St. Lucians are paying attention to what's going on. So, if Richard Frederick was any smart, he would, because you see, he has such a hatred for Alan Chasney that he will never continue the projects that are making very much sense to St. Lucia's development and the people's development. Because a country does not develop without people developing.
No.
Once a country develops, its people develop. We have new hospitals, they're larger, they have more services. So we have more kids going to study medicine who can come home, specialize in certain things, and work in an international hospital in St. Lucia. This is the way it works. We have a larger airport. We have more boutiques at the airport. We have more restaurants. We have more check-in counters. We have more people employed at those airports, and we have a lot more flights coming in. Then we have more hotels. We need more hotels, more development to sustain all these people coming into St. Lucia, because we are a number one holiday destination in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't do what we have to do, Richard Frederick, the little huts you're building in town are going to remain empty. And you call that development. The people you're chasing from off of the street that you promised nobody gonna touch your vendors, they can vend wherever they please. Now you see that what is it Mr. Peterson Francis, the mayor of Castries,
Yes.
had done in cleaning up the sidewalks and stuff and putting the vendors in a specific location where everybody can go and sell their stuff, their produce, etc., their goods, their little trinkets, etc. We would just go there, everybody would purchase what they want and leave, and the streets of Castries were kept clean.
Mm-hmm.
You all said in opposition, it was wrong.
Yeah.
It was wrong for the vendors to be put one place and Castries to be cleaned up. Now you're finding an excuse. You're coming up with an excuse to move the same vendors you stood up there standing behind you. Yay! Nobody gonna touch my vendors, his vendors. And today, you are treating the vendors like this in such a manner. You didn't meet with them to move them, but you're breaking down their stalls behind their back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You should have consulted with them first,
Mm-hmm.
like Peterson Francis had done.
Yep. Yep.
You consulted they consulted the vendors before moving them. And maybe some of the vendors were not happy, but where the vendors were, it was dangerous. Being on the sidewalk was a very dangerous thing. People could not walk on the sidewalk, were walking on the roads.
On the roads, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Endangering the lives of people.
Cleaner city right now, Castries is filth. It is filthy. It is dirty. It stinks. This is not even a city in my eyes, to be quite honest. And we have a government sitting there who's taking money from us. We're making no more money in a salary, but they are squeezing blood out of stone. And I hope people can understand what that means.
Mm-hmm.
They're squeezing you for every bit of money that you do not have. So what are they doing? And all the borrowing that they're doing, we are not seeing where that money is going to.
Wow.
Have we seen anything this government has done with the monies that they borrowed in their last budget?
Budgetary support.
If you have seen paying the civil servants, this is the most y'all can do. There's nothing innovative. There are no projects that you can do on the ground that people can be employed, that you, the government, can be they're paying the taxes, the NIC, etc., and you can be making more money from them because they're shopping, but you're creating jobs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can do to move our economy.
Yeah.
The only thing you as a Labour government could do is tax us half to death.
Why?
And the nepotism in this country must stop.
Yeah.
It has to stop. People are hiring their daughters, Mr. Pierre, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. You hire your daughter and you're paying her $6,000 a month for working with CIP.
And she's telling you all, man, you all business.
And what exactly? She's let the Nipo baby or whatever she calls herself enjoy her job. I don't know. Because you see, when I see the nonsense, I don't read it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I do not read the garbage because I think that these things need to stop. Mr. Pierre, is it your nephew or some family member of yours? Why is he the director or why is he in charge of the youth economy, whatever you said you were doing, whatever office that you've set up? Why is he the one in charge? Isn't there anyone else? Are those jobs advertised? Were these jobs advertised?
So his family got that position.
Yes.
Wow. These guys are practicing everything that they accuse Mr. Chasney of.
That's right. So every single thing the SLP accused the Honorable Shastri of doing, they are the ones, obviously, and I don't understand why people did not see this. And I think COVID has a lot to do with. I'm not making up excuses for St. Lucian. I'm not making up excuses for them, but I think COVID has a lot to do with the backlash and, with what happened. And of course, Richard Frederick and Tricia Lionel and a lot of lies and deceit was spilled. But at the same time, we have to open our eyes to the reality of what's going on in St. Lucia. We cannot let this continue. We can't. I'm hearing people, ministers, telling people off in phone conversations, people cursing back. What do you expect from the layman? He's not going to curse you when he's looking for his favor? I'm sure he did you favors and he's expecting the favors back now. It just doesn't make any sense. Solution makes no sense. Nothing is making sense on the ground in this country. We have to stand up to this. And every time I call your program, I ask that we stand up to this. I ask that we stand up to this. We have a petition. People, let's sign that petition. Let's do what we have to do to get this government moving out of the House of Parliament.
Can we get the petition online?
I suppose we can.
Yeah, because
yes,
that will be if we get it electronically, that will make a big difference.
Yes, I suppose we can, and it's probably an easier way to get
the
signatures attached, etc. Yes,
I had a site.
Something has to be done.
Help them.
We can't continue in the mode in the way we continue. I mean, Richard Frederick says in his show, Shastri takes $7 million of our money and give it to some cement guy or whatever to get whatever for us. And when he's asked the question, has all that money been paid back? Has the money been paid back yet? He says, no, that all the money hasn't been paid back. But he will not say the amount of money that has been paid back. He is misleading people. So he makes it look like, the money has not been paid back.
He's given half truth.
But most of this money has been collected by the government, from my understanding. But you make it look like no money has been paid. No. Shastri, how did Shastri and Guy get elected or appointed without any kind of without anybody opposing them or whatever, with no opposition? Richard, mind your business.
Well, they paid 2005 to the delegates.
You're not in UWP. You tried to get them not to have those meetings at all, not to have convention. You were instrumental in this. In your show, you're making those statements?
Well, what they did was to make the United Workers' Party stronger and bigger.
And you know what? And they will continue to make the United Workers' Party stronger and bigger.
Yeah.
And they will continue to make Mr. Shastri a very famous leader, who is going to take St. Lucia by storm at the next election. And St. Lucians, it's not mouth, right, that gets a party, that puts a government in power. And I use the word power today. Okay? It is a vote. It is a vote. It's not your neighbor's vote. Your neighbor is not voting for you.
Yeah.
We all have to go out there and cast that vote. Because if we don't, and I'm saying it early, I don't know when elections is going to be called. It looks like it's going to be anytime. It looks that way to me. I don't know to other people if they're not seeing what I'm seeing. Okay? But we all need to know that our IDs are intact and that we know we are voting, that we on the right voters roll, because they will move your names all over the place and you cannot find where you're voting. And you need to be able to go and cast that vote. That is important. Because if we say, me, I voting, and we all are you the repeat, you know what's going to happen? A repeat of what happened the last time. And trust me, we do not want this Labour Party there. Lisa Jawahir, hold your comments. Stop making yourself look stupid on national television, please. That's all I have to say to the young lady.
Yeah, she's
hold your comments and stop making yourself look stupid, because you were right there when they put Alan with two young boys in chains on either side of him.
Yeah, that was declassified.
You were right there when they had all those little paintings and memes and stuff of guy with money and whatever, volley, whatever. You were right there, Lisa, when all these things, accusations and was being thrown, and they were made into memes, was being thrown at the governing body, at the members of the UWP. And today you want to come and complain about someone taking Philip J. Pierre munching. I don't know if I should say chewing or munching, or I don't know, because it was very funny. And then the gorilla doing the exact same thing that Philip J. Pierre is doing. So what? So what? And I understand Mr. Chasney, he did the right thing by saying, no, I don't condone this, because he understood how he felt when they put him, making him the white man with the two black people in chains.
Boy, that was low.
He understood how that felt, because he ain't no slave master, and he's not a master like they made him seem. So I understand why he came out, and he did the right thing.
Right, and the Prime Minister said that he's the little black boy.
But he never called Pierre the little black boy. Philip J. Pierre called himself the little black boy.
Yeah.
So if we all refer to Philip J. Pierre as the little black boy now, it's because he was the one who called himself the little black boy. Who played the race card, the racist card, put it that way.
He played it on himself.
It was the SLP.
Yeah.
They were the ones who played that card.
I remember getting very upset,
Today, so I'm very happy that he came and denounced it. However, if I were you, Lisa Jawahir, I would just keep quiet. Let's just leave that alone, because you know what you did in the last election. You know what your hands touched and what you were involved in. So don't come with your vicious little face on TV. And I'm saying vicious because it is vicious and it is untruthful. You're the one that made yourself look dishonest, my dear. Because we all know. We know. So you hold your horses, Lisa. Behave yourself. Keep your little job they give you, girl, as a senator, and run with it. But these things, stay out of them.
Yeah.
Stay out of them. When the opposition leader comes out and makes his statements, especially in the House, Lisa, stay out of that. That doesn't have nothing to do with St. Lucia as a whole. He was just speaking from how you guys had made him feel back then.
Yeah.
And today's being done to Philip J. Who's an absolute clown who really, I do not want to insult the Prime Minister, but every time he opens his mouth, I feel embarrassed. I cringe. I want to run. Sometimes I laugh. But I do not think we look very good on the international stage having a Prime Minister every time he opens his mouth is some crap that comes out of it.
Yeah, he goes through to Comedy Central.
Precisely. We're the laughing stock of the world. There's nothing that is being done in St. Lucia for me to turn around and say, hey, Philip J. nice. There's nothing. You're paying, so what? You have back pay and bonuses to pay. It wasn't your government that negotiated it. It was the Alan Shastney government who negotiated it. That is why the civil servants are getting paid this money today. If this was not written in stone and the agreements were not there, SLP would not give you civil servants one dime. Sorry, I raised my voice, but they would not a dime. It's because it was set in stone. It's because it was set in stone and written, signed, and delivered. That is why today they must honor this. They have no choice. They have no choice. Everything, and I want people to look at it, everything that SLP is doing in St. Lucia that is good. Isn't it a continuation of UWP's work?
Yep.
Ask yourself that question as St. Lucians. Look around you for once. When gas was 100, and I'm jumping back and forth because there's so much. When gas was $120 per barrel, what did Alan Shastney do? He capped it at $13 and a few cents. But gas is now below $70 a barrel, and we slaves, the black massa have us paying $17 per gallon. And they fly in the world and they living their lives, and his daughter has one of the best jobs and his nephew has one of the best jobs, while there's so many young people not
it's
working.
It's only $6,000. Only 6,000. Could be euro. You can never know.
Right.
You can never tell.
I have another piece for Kenny and Taylor. I forgot. Shasta was developing Viewfort, right? A lot of the young people in Viewfort are unemployed. And they say unemployment, oh, the crime. Some people say, oh, it's not unemployment, it's them and fast money and whatever. Oh, that too. But when somebody is hungry, my friend, they will steal.
Yeah.
They will go to a shop and they will steal a bag of rice and a can of tuna. They will steal. When somebody is hungry, if their neighbor puts a pot of soup outside on the coal pot cooking, when the neighbor turns the back and goes inside, it will go missing.
Yep.
Because that person is really hungry. That's what you call hunger. And we have hungry people in St. Lucia. When Mr. Shastney was developing Viewfort, right? It was to change the lifestyle of the people in Viewfort. It was to give everybody some sort of, and I say some power, some independence, to be able to stand up and fend for themselves and work and make some decent money. It wasn't for them to sit around scratching their head and scratching their backs and saying, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to give my children food tomorrow? Well, there's no job. Well, is STEP program coming? They're not giving me a day of STEP. Da-da-da. It was not about that. It was about empowering the people of the South.
That's right.
You know how many jobs have been created on the wharf, the airport, the hospital, even the construction? We saw so many St. Lucians employed in construction, not foreigners. And you listen to friends, family, and foreigners spoken by the SLP about UWP.
It's FFF.
Today I want to ask Solutions, what do you think of your government? What do you think of the government that you've put there? What do you think? How is your life better today than it was in 2019? And I say 2019 because that was just before COVID. When COVID hit, it hit the world. All our lives was changed immediately, in an instant, in one day. So at the end of the day, I'm asking, is your life better off today than it was in 2019, the beginning of 2020, before March 13th, 2020? Is your life any better off today than it was back then? Make the comparison, St. Lucians, and that will tell you where the Labour Party has you right now. Feeling some serious, for the guys who never gave birth, boy, they in labor pains.
Yep. Everybody in labor pain, both male and female.
Both male and female in labor pains right now. And we have no hospitals for delivery of these babies.
Yep,
Could you believe it?
Yep, they can't go St. Jude.
So after we in labor pains, we have no medical facilities to deliver those babies.
Yeah.
I wonder where we're going.
Martinique.
And when we turn our backs, we had bull gunshots all over the place.
It's like the Wild Wild West.
You know, you have to duck. Yes, you can't go and
while
sit
the
in
police,
the bar and
while
enjoy
all the
a drink
police,
with anybody.
all the police are in Vieux-Fort. You have shooting in Dennery, Marsha, all over the place. I don't understand.
Exactly. Brennan, the police are RSS is in Vieux-Fort, and the fellas on the other end, boy, they say, you know what? We know where they are. Let's do some havoc over here now.
Yep.
I mean, what kind of thinking is that?
Yep.
What kind of policing is that? Television is 238 square miles. Television is smaller than London. I mean, come on.
Yep.
That's all you can do. Everybody go down to Vieux-Fort because that's where the problem seems to be at the moment. The problem is all over St. Lucia. What a short-term thing. This is not even working.
Yeah.
In their own faces, this short-term. Weren't they the ones who brought up the fee? They put in some fee for illegal. If you caught with an illegal weapon, you go into the fee was increased.
Yes.
What you'd have to be charged by the courts, etc. Has that made a difference?
It's not changing the minds of the criminals.
Has any criminal been charged that amount of money for being caught with a weapon, an illegal weapon? Exactly. So all the quick legislation, all of this, all of that is not going to solve the problem.
I think it's politics that is killing the police force.
Long-term. Sorry?
I think politics is killing. It's interfering with the police force. Yep.
Let me tell you, politics interfering with the police force. Yes, highly possible. I heard that. I don't know how true this is, but I heard that he moved an inspector from the Marshall police station as soon as he came in.
Yep.
He moved him out of that police station, and Marshall was pretty quiet when that inspector was there. But he moved him for the sake of some politics. I don't know if this man supports. And I'm talking hearsay here. I do not have facts about this.
Yeah.
Right? So somebody who has the facts may be able to share more, give us more insight on it.
Yeah, and he will tell you it's not true.
If you're gonna be doing these kinds of things, right? I think it was an Inspector Chico. May I mention his name?
Chico?
As soon as Pierre came in, he moved. Yes, it was an Inspector Chico. He moved him from the Marshall police station and put him in an office. And what was this man doing? Taking his policemen, going all around Marshall, going around the community, checking out what's going on. You know, he wasn't sitting at a desk doing nothing. He was very active. But I guess that must have been stopping somebody's activities from happening. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they took him and put him. And when you become like this, shouldn't we vote for our? Should we be the ones to vote for our commissioner?
I think police commissioners should be on the ballot.
Well, that's right. Shouldn't we vote for our commissioner? And there's certain
Speaker of the House
that we should be voting for.
Commissioner should be voted on by the people.
And the president of the Senate.
Yep, should be done by the people.
There's the governor general as well. These positions should be positions that we vote for, not appointed by any damn government.
Yeah.
Because they will always be biased towards the government. Towards whoever employed them or appointed them.
Yep. They got to sing for their supper.
So at the end of the day, we shouldn't even have these as appointments, political appointments. We should have them. They should have them on a ballot where we vote for them. I tell you, some things would change in St. Lucia.
Yep.
There'll be some major changes being done in St. Lucia.
Well,
and it's about time we stop. And I will say that we stop having people in our parliament that we know, according to Spider, have been fingered.
These people are ridiculous, yeah.
Fingered from the back. That's how Spider said it. Spider, I love you for making that statement. I think that is so true. Yes, Spider said it. They have people right there in their cabinet.
I have to bring Spider into counseling.
They have been fingered and fingered from the back.
Spider needs to come into counseling.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. We don't need these people in there. We need to clean up our politics in St. Lucia.
Well, what I can say is that the SLP government, they have set up presidents there where they are tampering with the Constitution without the people's input. So therefore, the United Workers' Party need to go in and get the police commissioner on the ballot, get the House Speaker on the ballot, change the Constitution. Now, the SLP says, so you don't need that. Once you have majority in the House, you can touch the Constitution how you want. So I would take the opportunity to make some changes.
When UWP comes in the next, after the next election, honestly, I will be the first one going to Mr. Shasti and saying, let me tell you something, sir, with all due respect, sir, you need to take out these people, sir, you need to insert your own, sir, and you need to put everybody, such as the speaker, the governor general, this person, that person, on a ballot.
Yes.
And in the civil service, sir, you need to take out the political hacks, sir, and put people that you know will work.
Because look at that. Alison Joe was a political hack all the time.
Yeah, an XPS. An XPS, a permanent secretary to King and to Guy Joseph.
My God, how can you get anything done?
Huh? A permanent secretary whose son, and I do not want to, I'm going to use that as an example because this was quite touchy this was a sticky situation for me having to look onto this as well. Yeah. Your son was shot by a police officer. And that's what happened. Opened his door and shot him dead in his apartment in Texas.
Yeah.
Shastley was there with you, Allison. He supported you.
Yeah.
Okay? 1, 2, you supported that bill of a line police officer being able to break into people's house at any time, day or night, and arrest them and shoot them or whatever if there's need to. Well, I say need to, or if they feel like it. Let's put it that way, because I'm looking at the bad side of this bill. Yeah. You supported that bill without flinching.
Yeah.
The state may have paid you, Alison Shaw, or compensated you because of the loss of your son. But no one's going to compensate any mother in St. Lucia
That's right.
if this happens.
That's right.
Nobody's going to compensate anyone in St. Lucia. You were blessed to have received some sort of compensation from your son's murder. Unfortunately, so he lost his life. He was a good child. He was a good young man. But he lost his life and you got compensated. But St. Lucia, there will be no compensation for any mom.
Nope. Not even a funeral service.
So at the end of the day, for me to watch these people do this, I have to ask myself, is this about party? Is this the support for your party so much that you cannot say to your own party members, listen, we need to look at this again.
Yep.
I had a situation where my son was killed by a police officer in the U.S. We cannot do this.
Yep.
These people are called heartless, wicked people.
Yep.
This woman cannot be normal.
Yep.
And I'm sorry that I have to pick her up and say this about her, but she did something. And from that, I have to sit there like Judge, Jury, and Executioner and say that Alison Shaw is a wicked woman. I'm sorry I'm being a judge, but I'm sure a lot of people looking in from the outside must be thinking, boy, is she all right?
Yeah.
Is she okay? Does she remember she had a kid that was just shot by the police in the state?
Same breaking into the
Does she have
door.
any recollection of this?
Yeah.
They broke his door.
Went in and
So anybody can walk into your house and break it and shoot you because you're a target? Because I support the UWP, someone might send the police after. Well, I'm not saying it will happen, God forbid.
No. But the possibility is there.
Other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So people, we need
Power
to stand
corrupts.
up. We can't let them continue doing what they're doing at let me tell you, at their free will, these people, they just come into the house and they just let's table this. I don't even know what the thinking where this is. I don't even know who's the mastermind behind these things.
Yep. The Attorney General.
If it's what you say to all of them, I say there are a couple masterminds behind it, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
And my advice for them as well is be careful what you ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll come back to you. And let me tell you, solutions are gonna play with you this time, huh?
Nope. Well, the writings on the wall, and I was having a conversation with Anson today. He called me this morning, and I share that with him. I said to him, the writing is on the wall. If there's an election that is called tomorrow, the people of St. Lucia at this time will rise up like you have never seen before, and the party will have a problem. The SLP will have a problem, and we better believe it. For those of you who have your ear on the ground, you're hearing, you're seeing, you're feeling. Those of us up here, we're just hearing. But you guys are hearing, you're seeing, you're feeling. So
we're living in this.
You're living in the nightmare.
We're living in this. We don't even want to go and sit by a bar and have a social drink with somebody anymore because we're afraid some guy might be there, he might be a target, and they just open fire on us with some automatic rifle.
You can't even drive on the roads.
And everybody dead.
Yeah. So
you can't even drive on the road.
You go to the supermarket and you have to get oxygen because heart attack taking you. I mean,
let me tell you, oxygen alone, sometimes a stretcher they might have to bring you because you
or Lazarus because
you just faint. Because the prices are ridiculous, and every week it's going up. Look, we have a shortage of brown sugar again, and then Emma is talking about supply chain issues.
Again, supply chain issues. People getting their barrels in within 3 weeks from the United States. What she's talking about?
The sugar coming from Ukraine, Emma, or Russia?
Maybe Europe.
Oh yes, because remember but if we live in Europe, we shouldn't have any supply chain. If we located in Europe, we shouldn't have any supply chain. It's just the sugar should be able to be driven to our
We Europeans, we use white sugar. The Europeans use white sugar.
Yes, actually, the Europeans are not big on brown sugar. We in the Caribbean are big on brown sugar.
I heard you all have a lot of white sugar, so it's really Europe. So y'all enjoy Europe.
For Garfield, let me go and munch on my cheeses, okay?
Go on, get your cheeses. That's the new staple dish here in Europe.
My cheeses? Yeah, because Europeans eat cheeses, so I'm gonna go. Listen, they don't like white people, right? Apparently, Europe is made up of black people. They don't like white people.
No, European is made up.
Cheeses.
They're made up of the little black boys from Marsha.
They don't like guava.
Guava.
Let me say it like that. They don't like guava. Because guava is grown here in St. Lucia. It's a local fruit. They don't like guava.
It becomes guava when the white man eats it.
You understand? So we in Europe, we don't like white people. This place is upside down. It starts from the head. We are rotting from the head. Our head is Philip J. Pierre, and I think he's lost his head.
He's lost his marbles.
He ain't making no sense when he opens his mouth. The man, marbles alone. You crack me up.
No, honestly, I don't know how a man end up from Marsha, end up going straight into Europe. I don't understand that. This guy's a genius. I think you all have the best prime minister that you all deserve.
No, thank you. No.
You all have the best in the Caribbean.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, thank you. Yeah, because we had the best, and then the silly people got rid of him, and now we are stuck with somebody that I think honestly can be so easily manipulated and so easily influenced that possibly he ain't the prime minister, but somebody sitting on his right or left hand in his office is.
I think Philip J. likes Mr. Chasney. I think he likes him a lot because the man, they said that Mr. Chasney should be deported to his country. He's not one of us. So the man brought Europe to us. I mean, now Chasney is at home. If they said he was born in Martinique, so Mr. Chasney.
Right, so we have to deport. We have to deport the man to Africa then because he's a black man. What he doing in Europe?
Well, we can't have Philip J. in Europe. He's too black for Europe.
Yeah, so we have to send him back to Africa.
We gotta find somewhere where there's Zambia or somewhere.
No,
yeah.
But on a serious note, solutions, we need to get up. We need to stand up. We need to get up, stand up for our rights because our rights are being trampled on. And that's all our rights, not just some. So we need to stand up. We need to get on the road. And you don't have to be UWP. You don't have to be no P. Just know that what's going on in St. Lucia does not make people happy. It makes us unhappy. It is putting a strain on us. Some people are cringing. They have kids to get to school every day. People have their parents who are ill, who we need proper medical. We don't get it. We need some support from NIC because our parents have paid NIC all their lives. And then now it's another story, having to get their gratuities, having to get a proper pension, having to get some sort of anything from NIC is a nightmare. But NIC owns land all over St. Lucia, big buildings, everything, but our parents are suffering. So we need to stand up. We need to get up.
Yes.
We can't pay $17 at the pumps. We can't. The cost of living is too high. We can't continue living in a crime-ridden 238 square mile island. We need something done that is good for St. Lucia. We need St. Lucia back. We lost St. Lucia on the 26th of July, was it 26th or 27th of July, 2021?
Gone.
We lost St. Lucia then. We need to take St. Lucia back. And it's about time.
Yes, yes.
And don't let them fool you with the little bonus and the little salary increase, because it's not them. Left up to SLP alone, you would not get a dime. That was all negotiated, sealed, signed and sealed by Honorable Alan Chastney and the UWP government.
Thank you.
They have no choice but to honor it.
Okay, caller, you actually...
Anyway, maybe somebody else wants to call?
No, you realize it's 10 o'clock and you should be in your bed at this time together with all the callers?
Yes, I need to get to bed as well.
You see, I said 5 minutes and you came on the air and you had me for another hour. But I appreciate you as usual.
Yeah, but
the listeners appreciate you.
Thank you very much. We will talk again.
Thank you, ma'am.
There's more to talk about, but tonight is it's a short night, so
yes.
We all need to get to bed. We all need to wake up in the morning and do what we have to do. So everybody have a good night.
My friend.
Good night, Brother Garfield. We will speak
we'll
soon.
Speak tomorrow.
Thank you for having me again.
No problem.
Thank you.
Take care, right?
Yes.
Get some rest.
Bye-bye.
Blessings there. Okay, folks, we've come to the end of another program. Let me just give you some... Let me give you before you go a tip in the morning. If you are blessed to get up, do this in the morning. First thing you do is pray. After you've prayed, the first thing you should do when you wake up in the morning, before brushing your teeth or putting anything into your mouth, cut a lemon in half, squeeze it into a glass of warm water with a pinch of cayenne pepper, and drink it. What it does, this will alkaline the blood and remove debris from the intestines. All right? So first thing you do is get your glass of water before you brush your teeth, cut a lemon in half, squeeze it into a glass of warm water, a pinch of cayenne pepper, and drink it. All right? And we know that most diseases start in the stomach, in the guts. So if you can clean it, flush it, and by the way, use a lot of fiber, it will help you maintain good health. All right? Especially those of you living in St. Lucia. God bless you. Amen. Catherine St. Bernard says she do it every morning for years. All right? So please do that and you will have a healthy gut. All right? There's a lot of bacteria and gut infections that are going around now that are causing people to have severe diarrhea and everything else. It starts in the gut. So you got to clean it out. Purge yourself. All right? Folks, have a beautiful night. May God bless you as we part, not from God, but from one another. But God is good enough. He can see us back together here tomorrow night at this same time. Blessings was Mary Shell, mine, and my Dr. Fletcher. Good night to you, Veronica, and all the others. Bonjour, bonsoir. And we got to speak European very soon. All right, folks? Blessings, joy, enjoy. Duncan, blessings to you, folks. Stephen, blessings. Good having all of you.